And here we have a restoration of a 1949 Ford oil tanker truck from Tootsietoy. The sides were slightly bent in. It's in quite good shape. Just a couple of very minor things, but unusually the casting is really good. Look at those details. And these sell for a tremendous amount on eBay. But I was able to pick this one up pretty cheap. And I'm just going to take these axles out. They're often not so easy. It's just a nail in two sides and a little axle, a hollow axle in the middle. But I've had them be very sticky before. But these cooperated. These wheels, a couple of them those two could be replaced. And I thought about it, but for display purposes, they're fine. They're fine. These two are in a bit better condition. And that'll be the last step, putting those axles back together and the wheels on, and then we'll be done. So just a little casting stuff here, not much at all, except on the hood there. There was just a divot taken out of it, and here it was slightly bent on the side, but not very much. Actually, the Tootsietoy history, they started making presses for laundries, that kind of thing, and this was sort of a side business, and then this just grew and grew. It's an interesting history if you can find it on the internet. And here, of course, I'm just getting this thing clean and taking off bits and pieces that, of corrosion and that sort of thing. This had already been through a sandblaster, so that's how I got the old paint off. And of course, we've got to take the dental pick and traumatize those of you who don't like to go to the dentist. But it does get the nooks and crannies clean and sharpens up definition, and it doesn't take very long, so I do it. There are a lot of variations on this truck, on this model, and this is a pretty standard one, but it's rather large. It's about 4 inches long, something like that. One of the bigger ones, with, as I said before, quite a lot of good detail. But there you can see on the top of the roof there's a little dent. So we have to take care of that with the Coyote and Roadrunner anvil. I just took a piece of wood, so it wasn't too hard, and a small hammer, and just pounded it out. And at the end there was still a little discoloration where it was, but as far as I could see, that little dent came out. I couldn't see it. The discoloration is there, but I couldn't see it anymore. I couldn't feel it anymore, so I declared victory and moved on. Here, this is a big chunk, just like I said, a divot out of the hood, and Just going to take some metal putty and a toothpick and fill it in, but it's going to take ages to sand it all down for the different levels, because it's right there where there are a couple different levels, and there's also some casting lines there that need to be put in, which I do with this dental tool again. So handy. Yes, one eternity later, and it was just tiny sanding, and it came out. It looks great. That was all sped up about 500%. So there we go. And once we get paint on that, no one will ever notice it. But first we'll put some primer on there. I'm using this block. There's nothing to really use to clamp on the inside, so I just used a block that kind of sat in there tightly. One coat of primer will do. And red seemed to be one of the better colors for this model. So we'll give it a couple coats of red. That's looking nice. And we'll put the headlights on. I use a white paint pen. I guess you could put silver. That might even be better. I just use white. Here I made a little mistake there. Maybe you can see on the right side that there's a little drip that went down. Oh no. So I'm going to try to correct that while it's still slightly wet with a toothpick, and just move it away, and then later come back and take some, just a drop of paint there and cover that up. Also want to put the lights on the front. I think these are usually orange, but I didn't think orange would show up very well on this red truck. So I put yellow, and sorry, but I ended up putting it on under this magnifying glass. You can see that the yellow's on those things, but now I'm busy with the chrome pen and doing little handles. There you can see on the little doors in the middle. Just applying that chrome. And here I get the backlights. Just a tiny, tiny little brush. And a dot. And a reasonably steady hand. And that's it. And here I tape off the grill. I'm just gonna, I looked around, I thought, do I want to do this? I tend to over-engineer and put too much detail on these Tootsietoys. And I thought maybe I should leave it alone, but looking at actual pictures of these things, the grill is almost always a different color, or it's chrome. So I thought, well, taping it off and getting a chrome pen on there will look nice, and it's truer to life. Again, smoothing this down with a toothpick keeps me from scratching the paint, but gets a good seal on the tape. And it works really well. Yes, move my hand. Here I'm putting some detail on top. Advice from my wife to also chrome the openings on the top of the fuel truck, and it does look a lot better. It attracts the eye, and it looks great. Now, just prettying these wheels up a little bit. Here, I didn't listen to my wife and put gloves on, so there was a bit of finger cleaning to get done here as well. And a little bit of varnish. This is a matte varnish. I might go over to a little shinier gloss varnish. And here I want to get the nails cleaned and put a little bit of WD-40 on there because I'm a little bit nervous about them going in. They do have some corrosion on them, so I take that corrosion off and sprayed that towel with a little bit of WD-40. So you just put it on there with that, and then we'll start hammering these things home. I'm not really sure why I left that block in there. I think I was thinking maybe if I hit it with the hammer, I didn't want to bend it again, but that's kind of silly. So it's all going in really quite well and suspiciously easy. There it goes. The block is still there, serving no purpose. I'll finally get it out of the way. And we're nearly there. It looks pretty good and is ready to be put into the display case, or maybe one day played with, and then I'll get to repair it again. Thanks for watching.